alcohol, marijuana, Adderall, Xanax, ecstasy, Molly, LSD, shrooms. Wouldn't know about anything else or the harder stuff. Okay? So we're gonna dive into this. This video is called Drug Rehabilitation Centers and Mental Hospitals Are Needed, but are for the weak-minded. Now please, nobody take this personal. I'm just gonna give some statistics. I know a lot of us have been through some very traumatic experiences, okay? And these facilities are needed, okay? There's a mental health crisis going on for sure. A homelessness crisis going on without a doubt. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna give some simple statistics real quick, give some sources, give a quick take and conclusion, all right? www.addictionhelp.com, National Institute of Health, www.americansaddictioncenter.com. All right, so we're going to be doing successful recovery versus failure relapse versus the purpose of drug usage and those who use them as tools. Okay, so mental hospitals and drug rehabilitation centers are intended to help individuals with addiction issues to stop compulsive use of drugs and alcohol and the route it leads them to. Okay? This includes inpatient, partial hospitalization, outpatient programs, and different forms of treatments and therapies. And depending on the individual, the length of time will vary. Okay? Now, Florida. The state of Florida actually has the highest success rate in drug rehab compared to the other states in the US, okay? With actually roughly 70% entering, successfully completing, okay? Now, approximately 40% of people suffering, they don't even want to seek help or stop using, all right? Now, these stats here are taken from 2020, okay? So 4 years later, the difference, there's gonna be a difference, but it's not gonna be that substantial. Okay, 300,000 people tried to access addiction treatment, and due to financial reasons, almost 40% could even get the treatment needed. So you can see finances plays a huge role in this. But then again, it's safe to say these individuals, once they do get some finances in their lane, drugs is the route that they choose to spend on. Okay. Now, according to the National Institute of Health, the relapse rate for substance abuse ranges from 40 to 60%. And over 106,000 people died in the US from drug-involved overdoses, man. And that's almost 300 people a day. Now, overall in the US, unfortunately, less than 42% of individuals who even enter complete it. So that means that most people who enter don't complete. Okay? So, I'm gonna go ahead and give my take. All right? I'm gonna take these statistics actually that I just shared with you guys with a grain of salt. I believe these results are actually inaccurate. I believe that there's way more people who enter and don't complete, actually. I believe most patients and addicts are lying to themselves, and these studies done by the NIH and the FBI are inaccurate. And the reason I say that is because there are successful people using drugs as tools to accomplish and achieve, okay, based on their discipline, patience, and motivation. Now, examples of this can include musicians, artists, creation, expansion, portals. People are becoming more aware and using it to teach. Spaces, intentions, motives, enhancing, spirit altering. It's the type of stuff people are doing now, okay? And with that being said, there are negative impacts to this, yes. Body functions over time. Your organs and your lungs in the long run can get hindered, all right? My take on this, Only you can help you. I've got nothing against mental hospitals. I've got nothing against drug rehabilitation centers, man. Okay? But only you can help you. And the reason I say that is because most failure is going to come from silence or unwillingness to change, especially if nobody cares or wants to hold your hand. So it's one of those situations where patients get this motivation to want to stop because they can relate to someone else who wants to stop. But the minute that this individual or this guidance is not around this person anymore, they go back to relapsing and unconsciously not even wanting to care about the situation they're going through. Okay? So the starting point to why you started. Okay? Disciplined with desires and you trying to feel a certain way. That's what I believe is the key to an individual realizing how and where they went wrong with this specific substance that they're abusing. Okay? Sobriety versus drugs. Direction and path swaying. There's going to be too many directions and unreliable decision making that's going to severely impact your life if you're not someone who can see this. Why and what you're doing. The big difference versus a comparison. Your diet, your body frame, your physical fitness, all this is going to be affected, man. Your health issues. Okay? There's a lot of trauma. A lot of us have been through some very traumatic situations. And this is why I say that mental hospitals and drug rehabilitation centers are needed, okay? These drugs that people are abusing are going to enhance risky behavior, is going to cause diseases, and is going to be poor decision making that's going to affect your life negatively, man. And depending on the spiritual awareness and capabilities of this individual. Now, I have another take. There's a lot of intelligent people who are using drugs as tools, and that's a fact. You guys are familiar with the military special operations, specifically the Navy SEALs. There's forums about how they actually microdose LSD. Yes, psychedelic drug treatment, because of the experiences they went through, to enhance discipline. Not what you do, how you do it. Controlling your behavior, controlling your mind, and controlling your actions and desires. Only you can help you. That's my take on it. That's my take on it. Now, the more people motivating, the better. But in the long run, only you can help you. If you have a reliance mentality, you're not going to be able to help yourself. Where I believe most addicts fall short, they're lost in their fantasies and their impulses. Simple, plain and simple. Instead of adapting, instead of modifying and converting their actions and intentions after using, they're abusing. Plain and simple. Using versus abusing. Where's your mind at? Thoughts of success versus thoughts of trying to feel a certain way. That's what it comes down to, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and end the vid on this, and you guys let me know what you think. Drugs and substance abuse is a very broad word. Substances and drugs is a broad word. Depending on the individual, your awareness, your environment, your surroundings, it can be used as tools. Tools that help, tools that harm, to destroy, to enhance, to expand, to control, to divide. Psychological manipulation. Yes, this is true. It can get tricky. Power play. There's consequences and there's trouble in using in general. Drug rehabilitation centers and mental hospitals are needed, but are for the weak-minded. Let me know what you guys think on this take.